This is my project for reflection for my IST 256 final coding project House Hunter. For my successes and failures, my success was when I got super stuck and wasn't able to solve my errors even after hours of looking through them. They weren't working out how I envisioned. I had to work around them, and what I did was slightly alter my idea, which was a great aspect about this project being like a build your own project, because if things didn't work one way, I could try to incorporate other aspects that were different from my original idea. And I ended up adding things I didn't plan on having. But the drawback there was I didn't execute my original vision perfectly. So this is my failure. Originally, I wanted the user to be able to create a zip code, and it would mark all of the houses for sale within the zip code. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to extract just the zip codes from the real estate API and then group them together. So I had to work around. And what I needed to change and why was because I wasn't able to execute my original vision, I changed course, and my final code, the user puts in a specific address, and then the program runs and returns if the property is available or not, and then shows the property on the map. What would I do differently next time? Although I tried my best to code my original vision, if I could do something differently, I would start testing my code. I would start testing different code as I was coming up with the idea for the project. What I did was just submitted my project one based on researching APIs, and I found one that I would like to use, and then I came up with the idea. But I didn't actually start testing code until I'd already submitted that, and then not that I was like stuck on my idea, but I had already convinced myself that I kind of put myself into a box. But I think if I had tested more code beforehand, I would be able to see a little bit more what was possible instead of just basing it off of an idea. What if I had more time, I would make the program loop so it restarts after the final widget if you click that you would like to enter a new one. If you click you want to enter a new address, it prompts you to just go back to the top and do it again. But I couldn't figure out how to loop over multiple blocks of code, which is what would need to happen to loop over the entire program multiple times. So if I had more time, I would do a little bit more trial and error with moving the blocks of code around to include a giant loop. Although I did try a few different ways that I thought might work, I could also look online and see if I could get help executing that loop. And the final question is what I learned from this experience. I learned a lot from this experience throughout the class. I was always confident in my understanding for the exam, in the exam sense, but I was very confident when it came to applying the code on my own in the homeworks and the labs. So I had a lot more time to work on this and do a lot more trial and error, and I was able to apply the concepts that I had been struggling with at times in class and kind of prove to myself that I can actually do it. And even though it was difficult, I found a way to solve all my errors because I definitely had a lot during the process of creating my final project.